Welcome to another Near Protocol price update. Before I continue, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts and if you want access to our Discord server. Here we try to post stuff almost daily. We sometimes don't have the time for it, and we sometimes don't do it because there's no reason to do it. There's no reason to post these updates when the market is going sideways, but when stuff is actually happening, you get stuff like this, and I believe these updates are very important, so you should definitely check out the memberships, and we'll talk about this very soon. But first, I want to talk about the wave count on the chart. Let's start on the daily chart. If you don't know what's going on right now, Near Protocol is currently in a 1-2 setup and it's heading for a third wave move to the upside. The minimum target for the third wave is $83. I know that sounds like a lot, but keep in mind, Near Protocol went from about 95 cents to about $9 in only the first wave move, so there is potential for it to get to like $83 in the third wave and maybe like $100 in the fifth wave, maybe even like $150. Also keep in mind, Bitcoin is expected to get to like 255k in this cycle, and I know that sounds crazy, that sounds impossible, but if you look at the monthly RSI, I mean, does this look like a top for you? This is what a top on the Bitcoin chart looks like. And this as well, and this as well. Not this. Bitcoin is at like 100k and it's barely overbought on the monthly, so I believe Bitcoin will continue to go higher and higher, and I believe it will top somewhere between October and November of 2025. So we're nowhere near close to topping, and like I said, it could get to 255k, maybe even 300k in a more bullish scenario. And what does that mean? Well, it means that its market cap will also triple, and if that happens, then the altcoins will just go crazy in the altcoin season. Now, speaking of the altcoin season, I also want to talk about Bitcoin dominance. I want to show you something very important, but for this, let me actually put on the Bitcoin halving thing on the chart. So this shows when the Bitcoin halvings happened. So let's look at what happened after the 2016 Bitcoin halving. Let's go on the, I guess, weekly for this. So as you can see, 238 days after the first Bitcoin halving, well, the 2016 Bitcoin halving, 238 days after that, Bitcoin dominance started to drop, and that's when we had the first real altcoin season. And as you can see, Bitcoin dominance went from like 96% all the way down to 35%. Now let's check out what happened in 2020. Bitcoin dominance, 238 days after the Bitcoin halving of 2020, Bitcoin dominance stopped exactly the same amount of days as the 2016 cycle. And well, this is also when we had the altcoin season. So usually, well, not usually, but every time we get a drop on the Bitcoin dominance chart, that's when the altcoins go up. I mean, that's how it works. So exactly the same amount of days, 238 days after the halving. Now let's look at what's happening in this cycle. We just had a halving, guess when? About 238 days ago. Now this is a bit inaccurate, let's actually fix this. So we had a halving about 217 days ago. And Bitcoin dominance is already starting to go down. And I believe an altcoin season will happen very soon. Now keep in mind, this could be a fake out. I don't know if it's a fake out or not. As you can see, we are currently at the bull market support band right here. If we drop below it and if we do not find support there, I think it's very likely that we have topped already. However, if we somehow bounce from it like we did right here and right here and right here, then I think there is a chance that we continue going higher in December, and then in the middle of December we start dropping exactly 238 days after the halving like we did right here and right here, and that's when the real altcoin season happens. Well, that's when it starts, at least. Now, why am I telling you all of this? Well, because it's important, and it's important to know what will happen with the altcoins in 2025. As you can see, each cycle we get an altcoin season. Even though it looks like every single altcoin season is a lot smaller than the previous one, that's not actually the case. Keep in mind, Bitcoin is currently at like 100k. Back here, when Bitcoin dominance stopped in December of 2020, Bitcoin was, it was at about 40k. Right now it's at 100k, and Bitcoin dominance is obviously lower, but that's actually good for the altcoins. Even though Bitcoin continues going up, it's not only Bitcoin that goes up, the altcoins also go up with it. Now, of course, during this Bitcoin dominance rally, the altcoins do not go up as much as Bitcoin, but they still go up and they still continue growing during this time. And it's only a matter of time until we get a real altcoin season. And when we do that, then Near protocol will finally get its third wave move to the upside. And like I said, the third wave right here needs to have 5 waves, so let's talk about that. Let's go on the daily chart for this. As you can see, we already have a 1-2 setup on the chart right here, and I'm currently tracking the third wave of this 1-2 setup. The third wave should get to approximately $10.96, which is the 200% extension of the 1-2 setup. Then we need a 4 and a 5, and this will complete the first wave of the main third wave up there, so we obviously have a long way to go until we get there. But I'm expecting this to happen in the next, let's say, 200 days or so. And I believe the altcoins will top somewhere between, let's say, well, I don't know, probably between July and November of next year. So no, we are nowhere near close to topping in my opinion. And most altcoins will probably go up another 10x from where they're at right now. Now, of course, not all of them will go up. There are a few exceptions, but still, an altcoin season, I mean, it's called an altcoin season for a reason. The altcoins go crazy, and right now the altcoins have not really gone crazy. Yes, we did go up here like 10x, but keep in mind we went up 10x after we went down from $20 to about 80 cents or so. Well, actually $1. So, of course, I mean, this was only a correction rally, so of course it went up. It tried to recover, and it did succeed in that. As you can see, we found support at the 50% extension of the 1-2 setup right here. We reacted to it 3 times, which means that it is very likely that the second wave move down is in. I don't think we will get another one, to be honest, but to be able to confirm that 100%, we still need a 5 wave move up, and that 5th wave should put us above this high right here. Now, as you know, some altcoins already got this move, and Near has not gotten it so far, but that does not mean that it will not get one. It only means that it's lagging, and keep in mind, Near is not the only altcoin that did not go up with the other altcoins, so I believe it's only a matter of time until it starts going up again. Now, I also want to look at the monthly chart for a second, just to remind you what we are currently doing. So here we are in a 1-2 setup. This is a very big 1-2 setup, and right now we are working on the 5 waves right here. These 5 waves will only complete a first wave of a very large third wave move to the upside. Now, I don't know if Near protocol will manage to survive the next couple of bear markets, but if it does, then, you know, getting to some crazy numbers like $600, maybe even $1,000 in like 2 or 3 cycles is not the most unrealistic thing. But you have to keep in mind, this is an altcoin that went down quite a lot in the bear market. It went down from $20 to $1, so nobody knows if it will actually manage to survive the next bear market. And what I wanted to know about this is that yes, it can go to like $100 in this cycle, but that does not mean that it will go higher in the next cycle. It could go to $100 in this cycle and it could die in the bear market. So be very careful about that and know when to take profits. Just don't get too greedy thinking it would get to like $5,000 or so. I don't think that's realistic. Now, if you look at the monthly RSI, as you can see, we are not overbought, and I think that's actually a very good sign. Because if we want to get to these crazy numbers like $83, we kind of have to have enough space on the RSI to do it. And yeah, we have enough space to do it, but you know, we still have to do it. We are above the yellow line on the RSI, which is the moving average of the RSI. So this is a good sign. And we'll see if we get a huge bounce when Bitcoin dominance actually starts going down. Yes, it has gone down, but it only went down like 3%, and guess what? During that time, Near protocol already went up like 2x. Now imagine what happens when Bitcoin dominance drops to like 40% in a matter of months. The altcoins will go crazy, and that's when we will get the real altcoin season. We have not had an altcoin season so far, so things are still looking extremely good, but you need some patience right now. And if your altcoin does not go up when the other altcoins are going up, that's not the end of the world. It will still go up at some point, and I think that will happen very soon, considering the fact that in each cycle, Bitcoin dominance topped 238 days after the halving. So right now we are seeing a similar thing happen, so we'll see if it actually repeats itself. And yeah, that's all I have for this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon. Like I said, if you want access to our Discord server and to all of our charts, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.